We're here at Go 96.3. Hi, what's happening? It's a Monday. It's, what's the date as we record this? April 24th. Wow. It's already April. That's weird. Greeting committee is here in the studio. Welcome, everybody. It's just me clapping.
Hello.
How are you?
Hey.
Thanks for being here. My favorite band from Kansas City.
Thank you.
I'm just going to throw it out there right now.
Thanks.
I apologize that it's here in the Twin Cities around this time of the year. We call it construction season. So as you can see, everywhere you go, it's kind of hard to get around. The Super Bowl is going to be here next year, so we're pretty much tearing the city apart and putting it back together.
Yeah.
So I hope you're able to get around okay and fine.
Yeah.
Cool.
I like it.
Awesome. Excellent. Well, let's talk about some stuff. Welcome to Minneapolis. I believe it's your second time here. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes, that is our second time here.
That first time wasn't terrible. You played a show for us back in September. You remember that?
That was not terrible at all. That was
It was
awesome.
amazing,
We had
Addie.
a great time.
You
Yeah,
opened
that
with
was
like a little
fun.
Nirvana cover. The crowd was packed. Tell me about that experience. Was that your first time ever in Minneapolis?
That was my first time ever in Minneapolis. Pierce grew up around here, right?
Yeah, I've a family a couple hours north, so I'm used to coming through the city. So I had a lot of fun on my own that day, just taking the city bikes.
Are you from here or your parents are from here?
Parents from here,
Okay, so how are they from here but you're not?
they just decided to leave this wonderful city.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Any experiences growing up in the Twin Cities, anything, or in Minnesota for that matter?
A lot of lakes.
A lot of lakes, that's right.
Yeah, I know you guys are famous for the quote unquote 10,000 lake.
We have thousands and thousands of lakes here. It's pretty incredible. And now you're here tonight as we record this, your first headline show at 7th Street Entry. Quite the legendary venue in the Twin Cities. I mean, how's it feeling kind of going into that and thinking about a show of that magnitude?
It's weird to see all the names on the stars up there. It's cool though.
My girlfriend really wanted me to watch Purple Rain before I came up. Didn't get to do it, sadly. So
It's a great movie.
yeah, I will do that at some point, though.
I mean, it's historic. I mean, look,
Yeah.
the acting
Yeah.
is what it is, and it's silly and kind of cheesy, but that's sort of also what makes it so great. So
Yeah.
maybe on the drive back, where you guys going after this? Chicago, perhaps?
Chicago, yeah.
You got a long, a little drive. You got like 6-7 hours. Maybe
Exactly.
download it on the iPad or something. Purple Rain. It's worthy of your time.
if I watch it without her, she'll be pissed.
It's a good,
Gotta save
it's
it.
a good record. It really is. A good song and record. A good song,
Yeah.
record, and movie.
And movie, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There you go.
Prince was kind of a big deal here. So
Yeah, as we unloaded, we saw, at least I saw the memorial that he had set up outside, and just seeing from the news and seeing a tangible kind of memorial made it all seem a lot more real.
yeah, his spirit is definitely here, and it's weird. Before he passed away, it was one of those things where when you go to a concert in Minneapolis, his presence was always around. He might show up. I mean, like tonight, he might have shown up tonight. Who knows? It's totally possible. He might have been a fan of you guys. So he was a big music guy for sure. Your first headline show tonight in the Twin Cities. Very happy to have you here. You've been making music together for, a couple of years now, right, Addie? How did this whole
Yeah.
thing start?
I made music on my own, and then after seeing, it's actually funny. We're coming back with Mr. Wives in June.
You sure
Play
are.
for you guys. Yeah, that's exciting.
A go show, in fact.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. So after seeing Mr. Wives play and Katie from the Mowgli's, watching those girls kick it up on stage is super awesome. And so that kind of got in my head that I wanted to make a band. So I called Brandon over the summer and I was like, hey, let's make this band. And he was like, all right, let's do it. And then he got Austin and Pierce on board from there.
That's crazy. So
Yeah.
you were inspired by Mr. Wives in a lot of ways.
Well, I watched them open up for 21 Pilots in Kansas City, and I was like, I'm never going to be able to do that. That's insane. And so it's cool to be able to work with them now and know them and be friends with them.
So I get this question a lot from local bands. I mean, the music scene in the Twin Cities is very strong, right? And it's like, how do you get on the radio? How do you get noticed? How do you do all this stuff? Like, I want people to know who we are. You're talking about being inspired by seeing a band, and then what? 2-3 years later, something like that, you're going to be opening for them
Yeah.
this summer.
It's
I mean,
crazy.
really, how did that happen for you? What's the band's sort of journey of
We
making
got
this
so
happen?
lucky. We skipped so many steps,
Yeah.
and that's all due to Kansas City and they have an awesome radio station there. It's cool to go into cities where the radio station is very present.
Yeah.
Minneapolis is obviously one of them, but Kansas City does a really good job too. And the afternoon host and program director is actually our manager. But
Shout out to Laszlo.
yeah, Laszlo, we love
Yeah.
that guy.
You can say his name. It's okay. I'm a fan.
I don't know. But our tour manager and day-to-day manager, Peyton Merrick, actually sent him our music over a Twitter DM. And he was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to like this. I don't want to be rude if I don't. But he ended up liking it and played it on their Friday segment called Mail Time. And from there, he was like, yo, let's do this thing. And so we kind of just waited for him to actually contact us. And when it all got together, it all got together.
Peyton like tweets and posts a lot about wrestling. Does that bother you when you guys are on the road and she's watching wrestling on the iPad late at night? Is that
Actually, I'm the only one that rooms with her, and she sometimes feels a little bit risky and will watch WWE without putting headphones on
right?
at 2 a.m. She's like, dude, is this okay? And I'm like, yeah, it's fine, really. I'm like, let's go to bed, but
And then it's 7 a.m. and then 8 a.m.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And then before you know it, 3 days go by.
She's a huge wrestling fan, but every time I try to wrestle her, she like backs off. She's a pacifist or something. Won't do anything.
It's all talk.
Raw's in Kansas City right now, and she missed it because she has to work with us.
Yeah.
Oh, Raw's
Sorry
in
about
Kansas
that.
City tonight.
Yeah.
Tonight.
Oh, that's
Sorry.
right. Sorry, Peyton.
Sorry, Peyton. Yeah.
Tonight's gonna be great. It's gonna be
Yeah.
okay. Meeting People is Easy is the EP.
Mhm.
Is that a Radiohead reference?
Yeah.
Explain. Let's talk
We're-
about this.
We're not original, and we like other bands, so we take stuff. I just really like the documentary, and I thought that phrase "meeting people is easy." Like, I thought it was interesting, and it kind of plays with our name, the Greeting Committee, because you're greeting people, and it's like it's pretty easy to meet people, but then to build a relationship off of that, you have all these twists and turns. So just the initial meeting someone's easy, but then you have a whole rest of a journey to go with them.
What else do you do when you're in Kansas City? I know you have an Uptown out there. We have one in Uptown in Minneapolis as well. I know it's a spot for you guys to check out. I apologize that the spot here is 21 plus.
Ours is 21 plus too. They just like us, so they
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Damn.
they'll let us in.
I was hoping we
Yeah.
can all kick it at Uptown tonight, but I don't know. Maybe you can make some calls and we can make that
We
happen.
can try our best.
That'd be good. We've been playing Hands Down on the alternative channel for I don't even know 2 years. When did that song drop? Like 2 years ago?
Yeah, I'm
You're
sorry.
one of the first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
to
think so.
start
I think it was like
playing
first or second.
Yeah.
Laszlo was first, and I was
Yeah.
like second or third. Yeah, I mean, look, I have this crazy philosophy that if you're a radio DJ and you play good music, maybe people will notice your station. I don't know. It's just a weird, it's a weird theory, but it's such a. What I love about Hands Down is that it's such a beautiful kind of simple song, but sometimes like those. Those topics, they're so simple and you would think are easy to express, but they're actually kind of hard to convey, right? I mean,
Yeah.
how did that song come to be? And
Well, it's hard to write a love song that isn't super cheesy, also, which hands down is cheesy. But
Yeah.
that's kind of like the fun part about it, I think. That came about. I wanted to write a love song, and I needed inspiration. So my friend Namisha Halder and I went around and we recorded people in Kansas City of various ages, and asked them, what love means to them when they met their significant other, the hard parts, the good parts, why they feel they need them or want them, and from that, Hands Down was born. So it was actually a kind of difficult song to write. I remember getting really stuck on the lyrics in like the second verse.
it's like a relief now, right?
Yeah.
That it's over with.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
the reaction's been amazing for it, and it's sort of becoming like I hear that in Kansas City. It's sort of like a big wedding song. out there.
Yeah,
the amount
yeah.
of weddings we get asked to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, man, there's a lot of money in weddings, so
Yeah.
take those gigs if you
I don't
can.
feel bad doing that.
Yeah.
That's
Not
true.
even in just Kansas City though, but like we get messaged all the time, people using it in their wedding videos or just that they love that song, and so it's very cool, surreal moment to see that happen.
Let's talk about a song from Meeting People is Easy. She's a Gun, a song I've been playing quite a bit as well
Thank
on
Thank
Go
you.
96.3. I'm going to play it a little later on the show. For anybody who hasn't heard it yet, any listeners of the alternative channel, what should they know about it and a little backstory?
I just think it's kind of humorous almost to go from Hands Down, which is this like happy love song, to She's a Gun that kind of is aggressive, very aggressive actually.
It's a metaphor.
Yeah, it is a metaphor. And yeah, my dad hated that song. He still hates that song, but that's all right.
I feel like
he
we
just
kinda
doesn't get it.
took that opportunity to show people that we can do stuff that's not super cheesy, hands downy stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so we just kind of went the opposite direction with She's a Gun in a way.
I don't think
Yeah.
it was really on purpose, though. I think we just did
No,
it.
no.
I think we were just writing music, and that's how it ended up, though.
Nah, She's a Gun is about control. That's the simplest way to put it. It's about, you're in a relationship and it takes a turn to be unhealthy and just kind of trying to get that balance back. And by the end of the song, you're just kind of over that whole thing.
And I do like how it shows, like you make a good point about how you're much more eclectic in that way, right? On first listen, you listen to Hands Down. It's such a pretty kind of poppy, upbeat record, which is amazing. But having seen you guys live and opening with that Nirvana cover,
Yeah.
a complete 180, and then a song like this kind of bridges those two sounds. So
We've got a pretty broad range of sounds. You know, we've got on our new record, we've got 2 songs that are a little bit more bluesy or jazzy, and then you've got She's a Gun, and our last song is called BBC, and that's very, very heavy rock, and it's just it's a bunch of different things. We all
like an
like
indie.
different music, so
Well, we're thrilled to have you in the Twin Cities today for your second time, and that third time going down late June with Mr. Wives, a Go show. Do me a favor, watch Purple Rain before you come back in June, because
I will.
you'll get the full sort of essence and experience of what First Ave really
Mm-hmm.
means. And that movie made that venue super famous,
Yeah.
and I think it's kind of hailed as one of the top 10 best venues in the country.
Yeah, you can just see it by looking at the walls.
It's
Just who's
so
played there.
nice. So
Yeah.
And
watch
every-
Purple Rain.
yeah, every time I told family members or anyone that doesn't even live in Minneapolis that we're playing there, they're like, that's legendary. So it's exciting.
Well, it's good to have you here. Can't wait for the show tonight at the Entry. The greeting committee from Kansas City. Thanks for being here.
Thank you
Thank
for
you for
having
having
us.
us. Yeah.
Cheers.